Well, good morning from New Orleans. I hope everyone can hear me well. Whoever's going to be the first one to join me can tell me if my mic is working and if you can see me well in this bright sun. I wonder if you all know where I'm standing. If you've been following me, hey, the King of Baghdad is the first to join me and say hello. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. Marcos is here. It's VJ. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Carmelita, hello. Thank you for joining me. I wonder where you all are writing from. I am no longer in Massachusetts. Right now, I am in the state of Louisiana. Prashish, Roro, Kamal. Hey guys, how are you? Do you see the bright sun? I am standing in Louisiana. Christina, Sharif, and Marcos, Robo, Yasser, Fabia. I'll try to call out your names, but they're scrolling by quite Fabia. I'll try to call out your names, but they're scrolling by quite fast. Do you see the streetcar behind me? Hi, Benny. Arlis, thank you. Hi there. Greetings from Peru. Well, I am in New Orleans, Louisiana. Hey, Marcelo, Mohammed, Michael. You're right from Hollywood. Do you remember in the summertime I did a vlog and I was standing in a park in Hollywood? Hey Long and Tomas. Hello everyone. I see someone else writing in sunshine. Hey Guillermo. I'm sorry with pronunciation. Guillermo, Andrea. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful, bright, sunny morning in New Orleans. It is beautiful, Marcos. Berenice and Sen Wang, Mohammed, hey there. So I asked the question, which river am I next to? Jing and Friendly, hello. Do you guys remember? If you've been following me on Facebook, you'll know that I was in a city called Baton Rouge last night, and right now I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana. So I came down to Louisiana for a conference. You may know that every year I go to this international convention, a conference for teachers of English. And our international association has many regional and state chapters. And so the TESOL chapter in the state of Louisiana invited me to come down to their state conference. And it's such an honor, and it was so wonderful to meet all the Louisiana teachers who teach English as a second language. And I got to present 3 sessions to them yesterday in Baton Rouge. And I met some wonderful teachers, I made new colleagues, new connections. So the Louisiana TESOL folks were just so gracious and wonderful. It made the whole trip so beautiful and worth it. Hey, someone from Uzbekistan, thank you for joining me. This is not my first time in New Orleans. I've been here a few times. I actually, before graduate school, I decided to have an adventure, and I went in the cruise line industry. Did you know that? And I worked on 2 different cruise lines. And first, I worked on a major cruise line. Oh, thank you. Mahi, Allison. I'm working from my iPhone, and as you know, iPhones have these reminders that pop up. So as I'm trying to do my live stream, my personal reminders are popping up on my screen. It's very distracting. Do you use reminders on your phone? I need reminders to help me remember things. Is that marvelous place for wonder? I am currently in New Orleans, Louisiana, Wasim. Yes. Uday, hello. And I came down for a conference for teachers of English, people who teach English as a second language like I do. Hi, Cristiano. And that ended yesterday. We had a beautiful dinner last night near the Mississippi River in Baton Rouge. And then last night I drove with a colleague to New Orleans because this is where we're going to fly out of. I need to get to the airport in about an hour or so, and I'll fly back to Massachusetts. Hey, Adriana, Mahi, Sana, thank you for joining me. So right now I'm in the heart of New Orleans, and there's a historic region called the French Quarter. And the French Quarter is beautiful, it has lovely architecture and many historic sites, and it's full of culture, lots of artists. I'm going to show some photos on Facebook later when I gather them together. I have a connecting flight today back to Boston, so I think I'll have time in one of the airports to upload some photos to Facebook. Oh, Anastasia is joining me from Moscow. Hey there, and Marat. Hey Marat, good to see you here. Yes, I'm in Louisiana, but I'll be flying back to Massachusetts soon. I am standing along the bank of the Mississippi River. So you can, if you don't remember where the Mississippi River is, Google it. You'll see it's our longest river. And I had a chance to work on a steamboat right before graduate school, and I got to go up the Mississippi River and see some of the towns, and it was just a beautiful way to see the South. I'm from the North, and I really wanted to see the South of our country. So I saw many southern states and towns and cities along the Mississippi. It was really beautiful. Hey there, so glad a lot of you are here to join me. So as I said, I'm on the riverbank of the Mississippi River. This stretch of the bank actually has a name. It's called the Moonwalk. And behind me, there's one, I don't know if you can see a cannon. Do you see the cannon? It's a weapon. So that's called the Washington Artillery Park. Someone else from Massachusetts, great. And joining me from Indonesia. Isn't it great to be connected? I'm still in the state of Louisiana this morning, and the big church in the square, that is Jackson Square. Someone's joining me from Tajikistan. That's wonderful. So Jackson Square is the current name. It's been the name of that place for a long time. But New Orleans has had a very rich and interesting history. You should Google it and find out more, or read some novels, because New Orleans is often the setting of literary works and movies. It has rich history because it has Spanish and French influence. Before it came under American control, it had heavy influence from Spain and then from France. So it's just such a beautiful city. I'm going to share some photos so you can see the architecture. And I know it's quite funny because many of you are from countries where buildings and sites are centuries, maybe even millenniums. You have such rich old history. And for Americans, old is maybe like 100 or 200 years old. But in any case, for us, this is a historic region, and it's rich with history that goes back a few hundred years. And to an American, that's pretty old. Hey, привет to you guys. Was that from Kazakhstan? So I'm gonna try to give you, yes, Huckleberry Finn, you know Huckleberry Finn. Yes, so think of literature. Mark Twain, if you know American literature, is closely connected to the Mississippi River. So hey, Marat, you have a good river there in Moscow. You do. All right, so did you see the title of my live stream, guys? Did you? Okay. I have so much I have to share with you. I don't know how long I have, but I'm going to share photos of the architecture. I'm going to share photos of my amazing breakfast. I said if I have only a little bit of time in New Orleans, I'm definitely going to be in the French Quarter, and I'm having breakfast at Café du Monde. Café du Monde is a famous cafe, and their menu is so short and so simple, but people line up down the street to go to Café du Monde. And all they serve are these pastries, these puffy, flaky pastries called beignets, covered with powdered sugar. Hey, lots of more people joining me. So all you can order for breakfast is a plate of beignets, 3 of them. They're pastries, warm, fresh, full of calories, I'm sure, covered with powdered sugar, and then you drink coffee. You could possibly have hot chocolate, but even if you're not a big coffee drinker, and I'm not a big coffee drinker, you still need to have coffee at Café du Monde. So you line up, you hope to get a table, and you sit down and have your coffee and beignet, and it's just so wonderful. I'll show you what my plate of beignet looked like before and after. I just devoured that plate. I'll share those photos on Facebook. Okay, but now back to my story. As I said, for an American, old can be 100 or 200 years old. I chose this hotel in the French Quarter that I think the woman said it's like 178 years old, and that's pretty old for an to an American. The hotel is 178 years old. And I chose it because I wanted the location. in the city, in the French Quarter, and I thought it looked charming. I didn't want to think about the possibility of strange things happening in a very old historic hotel. But you all know that I have an imagination. I love Halloween. I just told you a family ghost story before. So if you put me in the right place at the right time with the right conditions, yes, I start thinking about ghosts. So there I am in this hotel, and I'll show you some pictures later. It's an old hotel. It has running water and electricity, but the key, let me see if I still have my key. You know, there's no modern key card. This is my hotel key, can you see? It's still like old-fashioned, that you turn on the shower and it creaks. If anyone knows classic horror films, the scary films that we show, there's a classic film by Alfred Hitchcock called Psycho. It's horrible and violent. When I was taking a shower this morning, I was thinking about Psycho. It's a terrible, yes, I get scared of ghosts. But let me tell you what happened last night. I was in the French Quarter, which is like a party place. I forgot about that, so I felt like I was back in college listening to people party outside my window, which is okay. And the guy next door was playing the TV late at night. He had it on with this late night show. Here's a good adjective: paper thin. Paper thin. The walls were paper thin, so when he watched TV, I had to listen to TV. But that's okay for one night. The problem was I was trying to go to sleep, and the room, first of all, got really, really cold. This is New Orleans, and this is the South. It shouldn't be that cold. Now, if you've watched a lot of scary movies like I have, you know that when this scene comes full of suspense, the temperature drops. So my hotel room got really, really cold, first of all. I was like freezing, and I'm trying not to think about the noise being cold. And then I don't know if I was asleep or not asleep. Yes, I've seen the movie Halloween. Hey, someone's from Kentucky, also from the South. Okay, so there I am trying to fall asleep at midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I started having possible strange dreams, but who knows? You tell me, is this a dream or is this reality? There was a moment where I'm lying in bed. I was freezing cold. I don't know why it was so cold in the room all of a sudden. And I swear I felt like someone was on the bed with me. And then I felt like someone was hitting me on the back, like a really hard massage. Isn't that crazy? And I swear it felt like little children jumping on my back. And I wanted to shout out saying, "Stop, that's enough." But my body was frozen like paralysis. And I'm trying to shout, "Stop, don't do it," or "Stop, that's enough." But because my mouth could not move either, I'm like, "Stop, that's enough." And I'm telling myself, move, like try to throw these people off my back. But my body couldn't move, my lips weren't moving, and all of a sudden it just stopped. And I told myself, it's not real, just pretend it didn't happen. But I'm thinking, dang, it's cold in this room. Somebody was like jumping on my back. It was really, really crazy, scary. And I'm thinking, I know this is a very old hotel. Oh, here's the streetcar again, guys. Look at the streetcar of New Orleans. Very strange. Okay, so then I was kind of waking up again and fully awake, looking at the clock at 3 a.m. maybe. And then a guy was next to my bed, like in old-fashioned formal uniform. And he said, "Madam, there's like something about, there's a lot of noise on this floor. Did you wish to report disturbances?" or something like that. But he was in this formal uniform and he addressed me as madam. And I was like, "No, go away," or something. And then that ended. I don't know, very strange dreams, but very real feelings of something weird was happening in that room. So I did not sleep very well. There's a couple good expressions that are coming to mind when you do not get a good night's of rest. I didn't sleep a wink. That's a good one. Wink is what you do with your eye, you know, when you wink. So I didn't sleep a wink. And I tossed and turned all night. It was just really, really weird in a cold hotel room. And it was just very, very freaky, very strange to be in a very old hotel and have strange things happen that really played with my imagination. Yes, Molly, it's the Halloween effect. And New Orleans still has all their Halloween decorations up, so it added to the atmosphere. It truly did. So that was my ghost story. Was it real? Was it not real? I don't know, but it was a very strange night of so-called sleep. So I'm gonna flip the camera around if I can. Let's see what I can do, because there's a barge going down the Mississippi River. Can you see the barge? A large ship. Barges transport things. There's a bridge going across the Mississippi River. Can you see that? They call it the Muddy Mississippi. Some places it's wider than others. Those are the tracks for the streetcar. People cross. Again, there's Washington Artillery Park. And in the distance, you see Jackson Square. I'll share some photos of Jackson Square later. It is very beautiful, very picturesque, and it's a beautiful day with a blue sky, which makes the architecture stand out even more. Hey, which old man? Ray, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Syed. Oh, goodness. I wonder if that's a barge. There's some steamboats here. You hear the noise from the river. So at Jackson Square, there are a lot of artists selling paintings. Maybe you guys live in cities too, with places where artists gather to show their work, sell their work. Yes. Someone's requesting lessons like I did with Natasha. I've been thinking about that, I'll let you know. And the wheels in my head are turning, and I am thinking of doing some more lessons like that if I can. I know for some of you, my speech is very fast. It's good listening practice though, guys. Have I seen anything Cajun? Oh, of course. The first thing I did when I arrived in the airport, they had a Cajun band playing in the airport. So I listened to some Cajun music. I'd love to stay and have Cajun food, but unfortunately my stay here is brief. At least I have had my pastries, those beignets, at Café du Monde. I'll show you a picture of those sugar powdered pastries later. They're awesome. I wish I could invite you all to Café du Monde, sit down and have beignets and coffee with you. From the Canary Islands, wonderful. Not St. Mary's. I'm not very good with all. I will tell you on Facebook, when I post my photos, I'll make sure that I give some details in the captions. Yes, it's a beautiful day along the Mississippi. As I said, I'm on a bank called the Moonwalk, and it sounds interesting, but it's actually named after somebody whose first name, I believe, was actually Moon. That's why it's called Moonwalk. All right. So guys, I am going to be signing off very soon. As I said, I'll share some photos on Facebook. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of New Orleans with me, and Jackson Square and the Mississippi River. Oh yes, the Mississippi River is tricky to spell, but we always learn it with a little bit of music and rhythm. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-S-I-P-P-I. Or some people say M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Mississippi. The Mississippi River is a beautiful river to see, and I can tell you personally that it's a beautiful river to travel along. I did that on the steamboat, fully enjoyed it, and have good memories of that time. From Al-Mater in Syria, that's wonderful. And I thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful sunny morning here in New Orleans. The next time I come on YouTube, I'll be back home in Massachusetts. I'm glad so many of you joined me from so faraway places like Iraq and the Canary Islands, and people close by from Kentucky. I will definitely, I always put my links in the video description. So I will put my links on how to find me on Twitter and Facebook later. And thank you again, guys. All right. Thank you. Goodbye from New Orleans. And thank you for joining me, guys. Bye. Happy studies, everyone.